What's up, family? Hope everyone's doing okay out there today. Hope everyone's in great spirit and in great health. Today I'm going to take you on a journey through the life of someone who's not just an R&B icon, but a true survivor. Angie Stone's story is one of resilience, heartbreak, and triumph. Now, we all know her for those soulful hits and that powerhouse voice, but her path to success, it was anything but smooth. Now imagine this, dealing with constant fat shaming, battling health issues, and even facing a shocking arrest for assaulting your own daughter. Yes, you heard that right. And let's not even get started on the steamy, complicated romance with D'Angelo that had everyone talking. Trust me, her life is filled with twists and turns that'll leave you speechless. But before we dive into all of that, let's rewind to the very beginning. Born on December 18th, 1961, Angie grew up in a household where music was everywhere. Her dad was a cab driver. He would belt out tunes at the Masonic Temple, and her mom worked tirelessly as a nurse. But here's something you might not know. Before she became the queen of soul R&B, Angie Stone was actually a rap queen. Yes, rap. That's right. Long before she was serenading us with her sultry voice, Angie was spitting rhymes as one of the first ever female rap groups, The Sequence. Now, let me set the stage for you. This wasn't just any girl group. Picture this, a trio of high school friends full of talent and ambition, coming together to do something no one had ever done before. They weren't just making music. They were breaking barriers in a male-dominated industry. That's right. We're talking about hip-hop pioneers. Alongside Cheryl the Pearl Cook and Gwendolyn Blondie Chisholm, Angie, going by the stage name Angie B at the time, was spitting bars and making history. These women weren't just playing the game, they were changing it. Can you imagine the courage it took to step into a space where women were often overlooked? But they did it, and they did it with style, skill, and a whole lot of soul. So let's take a moment to appreciate these trailblazers, because without them, the music industry, and hip-hop in particular, wouldn't be what it is today. And get this, they weren't just any group. They were the first Southern rap group to step into the spotlight. Think about that for a second. At a time when most rap tracks were straight-up rhyme marathons, The Sequence brought something totally fresh to the table. They mixed smooth, soulful vocals with hard-hitting bars, creating a sound that was entirely their own. And let's talk about their 1979 hit, Funk You Up. This wasn't just a song. It was a game changer. It had people dancing. It had people talking. And most importantly, it put them on the map. So while everyone else was sticking to the script, The Sequence was rewriting it. How's that for making history? Now, let me tell you something about this song. It wasn't just any old track. Oh no, this was a classic. And here's the kicker. It was one of the very first hip-hop songs ever pressed to vinyl. Can you imagine that? Even though The Sequence never got official certification for their massive hit, it didn't stop the song from taking over the nation. It became a smash, making history as the first rap hit by women and only the third rap song ever to crack Billboard's Top 50 on the Hot Soul Singles chart. Let that sink in. They weren't just making music. They were breaking records and paving the way for everyone who came after them. Now, that's what I call legendary. After her incredible run with The Sequence, Angie Stone decided it was time to step out on her own and pursue a solo career. And let me tell you, she didn't just step out, she shined. In 1999, she dropped her debut album, Black Diamond, under Arista Records. Now, this was a golden moment, literally. The album went gold and it gave us that soulful hit single we all know and love, No More Rain in This Cloud. It was more than just a song. It was a statement. Angie wasn't just making music. She was pouring her heart and soul into every note, and the world took notice. That's the kind of artistry that cements a legacy. As if dominating the music scene wasn't enough, Angie Stone decided to dip her toes into the world of acting in the early 2000s. And let me tell you, she didn't just dip, she made a huge splash. Her first big screen moment came in the 2002 comedy, The Hot Chick. Now, for someone who had already made such a huge impact in music, stepping into acting was a bold move. But that's Angie for you, always pushing boundaries and exploring new ways to express her creativity. And honestly, is there anything she can't do? I think not. And she didn't stop there, folks. In 2003, Angie Stone hit the Broadway stage, taking on the role of Big Mama Morton in the iconic musical Chicago. Talk about range. From soulful R&B to belting it out on Broadway, Angie proved she could do it all. And let's not forget her time on R&B Divas Atlanta, where she reminded everyone why she's still a force in the entertainment industry. Whether it's music, acting, or television, Angie Stone continued to show us that her talent knows no bounds. She was not just an artist, she was a legend in every sense of the word. Now, before we get to all of her incredible career highlights, let's rewind a bit. Back in 2000, Angie Stone made a major move. She left Arista Records and followed the legendary Clive Davis to his newly formed label, J Records. And let me tell you, that decision was a game changer. That same year, she recorded the theme song for the hugely popular sitcom, Girlfriends. You know the one. It's that catchy, soulful tune that perfectly set the tone for the show. It was another example of Angie's ability to connect with audiences, whether through her albums or her contributions to pop culture. She's always been one step ahead, and that's what makes her a true icon. But wait, she wasn't done blessing us with hits just yet. In 2001, Angie Stone dropped her second album, Mahogany Soul, and oh boy, did she deliver. This album gave us the absolute anthem, I Wish I Didn't Miss You. You know the one, that song that hits you right in the feels every time. It wasn't just a track, it was a moment. Angie had this way of pouring raw emotion into her music, and this song was no exception. It resonated with so many people, and honestly, it still does. That's the mark of a true artist, creating music that stands the test of time. Now, fast forward to 2005. Angie was supposed to be working on her fifth album. But here's where things got interesting. J Records, looking to cut corners, decided to squeeze some pennies. They took her new material, including the single, I Wasn't Kidding, and transferred it to a compilation album instead. But let me tell you, this wasn't what Angie had planned, not even close. She had a vision for her music, and this move definitely threw a wrench in it. It's one of those moments that makes you realize just how tough the industry can be, even for someone as talented and established as Angie Stone. So, after 5 years with the label, Angie had reached her limit. She decided enough was enough and asked for an unconditional release. By the end of 2005, she was officially done with J Records. But here's the thing. There's a whole backstory about how she was backstabbed at the label. It's one of those behind-the-scenes industry stories that really makes you think about how tough and unforgiving the music business can be, even for someone as incredibly talented and respected as Angie Stone. Behind the scenes, Angie was dealing with body shaming and health problems. It's a reminder that even while she was shining on stage and in the studio, she was facing her own personal demons. Body shaming, health struggles. Those are heavy things to carry, especially in an industry that can be so unforgiving. But through it all, Angie kept pushing forward, showing us just how strong she truly was. Angie weighed over 300 pounds, and the industry critics didn't hold back. They mocked her for being plus-sized and dark-skinned, piling on the pressure. But what most people didn't know was that Angie wasn't just struggling with her weight. She was silently battling type 2 diabetes. It's a stark reminder of how much someone can be going through behind the scenes, even while they're out giving their all to the world. Despite being overweight and having a family history of diabetes, Angie didn't think she had diabetes. Why? Because she thought she was too busy to develop it. But her health problems didn't end there. It's a reminder that sometimes, even when the signs are there, we convince ourselves we're invincible until reality hits. And for Angie, reality came with more challenges than just diabetes. She experienced congestive heart failure and high blood pressure. These were serious health battles that added even more weight to what she already was carrying. It's a testament to her strength that she kept going, even when her body was fighting against her. When it came to drama in Angie's life, her co-parenting relationship with D'Angelo takes the cake. This former couple's love story began in the 90s and spanned 4 years, starting when Angie was 30 and D'Angelo was just 19. Their chemistry was undeniable, especially when they collaborated on D'Angelo's debut album, Brown Sugar. It was a partnership that blended music and romance, but as we all know, not every love story has a fairy tale ending. In summing up Angie's life, I began listening to her mainly when she dropped the song, Brother. It was the soul from deep down and the passion that did it for me, on top of the lyrics being on point. That's when I started digging into her background as an artist. And let me tell you, I was blown away. So many people owe their style to her. Jill Scott, Jaguar Wright, India Arie, and Erykah Badu, to name a few. There would not be any neo-soul movement from these artists without Angie Stone. I remember the conversation I had with an elderly coworker. He was a huge Angie Stone fan. When I told her that Angie wrote and co-produced the bulk of D'Angelo's Brown Sugar album, she was so shocked. So, I'll always remember Angie as a groundbreaker, an innovator, a trendsetter for a lot of what we hear on the radio today. I always said in the music landscape, Angie Stone was the iceberg that sank the Titanic. So Angie, rest easy, knowing that you left a mark and made a fan who will never forget your contributions. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And remember, put God first, stay engaged, and stay informed.